This is it, people. This is what you've been waiting for. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. The podcast for everyday people with everyday problems, trying to find everyday solutions to accomplish everyday goals. Let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast, number one podcast in Oakland, the number one podcast in the Bay Area. And today we have a special guest like we always do. This brother, believe it or not, I didn't even know I knew this nigga. But it's funny how Oakland works. It's a small community of people. I invited him on because he has a documentary that's coming out very important to him. Yep. And I think his story is going to be good for other people to hear.
For sure.
So, welcome, Bryce, to the podcast. How are you doing, sir?
Good, man. Thank you for having me. It's a great day in Oakland, man. I appreciate it.
And you left Oakland to live in LA, right?
Yep.
How was that move?
It was just a natural progression of life. I moved from Oakland to LA in 2017. And at that time, it was a pivotal time for me to just expand. My pops lived out there. He's been living out there for most of my life.
LA?
LA, yeah.
Okay.
He moved to LA. I'm 33 now. He moved to LA permanently when I was around 11.
Mm-hmm.
And so, growing up, I would always spend summers and holidays out there with him. Him and my mom were together.
So your mom was here, your dad was in LA?
Yep, mom was in the Bay the whole time in Oakland. House was in LA. And so growing up, I was always out there.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, it was a couple of times where I was supposed to actually start living out there.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen. 8th grade, I was supposed to go. That didn't happen. When it was time to go to college, I was wanting to go out there. It didn't happen. And so this was a time for me to say it's time. Like I knew it. I just felt on my spirit it was time to go. So June, I think 17th or 18th of 2017, I had packed up what little shit I had in my Nissan Altima at the time and drove down there. I had a cousin out there. Shout out Worldwide Nate. He's still out there. Stayed with him. He gave me a place to stay. And the rest was history.
What part of LA is this?
So I started off when I first moved to LA in 2017. I was staying with him. He's in Mid City, West Adams area, so South LA. But currently, I live in Culver City, West LA.
And how do you feel? Because I'm familiar with LA.
Yeah, sure.
Like I told, my siblings are in LA too, so I'm always there and back.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to school in San Diego, so Southern California to me is like, I consider it like when you go from Southern California to Northern,
Yeah,
it's like you're in a whole nother state.
for sure.
Like everything is different. Like the vibe in Northern California is way different from the vibe in Southern California. Is that the same with you?
I think it is the same on a general state. I don't think I notice it or think of it like that. Just because I grew up out there somewhat, like with my pop, so I always consider it a second home. So that's one. And then two, coming from Oakland, it's like, sure, you can go anywhere and kind of just, make it your home.
Yeah.
So I've lived other places. I lived in DC, I lived abroad for a second. So when I'm out there, I know that that's a part of it. And a lot of people who are, coming out there feel that. But I've been fortunate enough to not really have to focus on it because I've always had family in LA. So it felt always different for me.
Let's talk about your time in Oakland.
Yeah.
How was growing up in Oakland?
Shit, growing up in Oakland, it was great nonetheless. It came with all the same experiences that a lot of people who really was from Oakland come from. And it's like, it's always the tale of two worlds, I guess darkness and light, good and bad, depending on how you look at it, the streets and, suburbs. Like, I just was always very observant. And so I always kind of just navigated it the best way I knew how. But I did learn at a very young age and early, in order to make it out or just sustain yourself in this environment, you got to be authentic to who you are. And I seen examples of that growing up, whether it was fights, whether it was, unfortunately deaths. That was a part of the experience. It's like, hey, here's the path. If you don't want to be yourself, if you want to be a follower, this is where your life will take you. And here's the path of, if you're a leader, you kind of stay true to who you are for better or for worse. And so growing up, I had a lot of love. I had a lot of support, a lot of family, a lot of community. I played sports. I was, big in school. I loved learning, doing music. So these things kind of always kept me occupied. And I always knew my path was different. I didn't know how to explain it. I didn't know how to articulate it, but that same, I think, like that spirit in myself guided me and kept me, out of trouble for the most part. I still got into things, but
What part of Oakland did you grow up in?
So I'm from East Oakland. So I grew up off of High Street. My mom, our house was in Maxwell Park, so right next to High Street.
As a child, did you know that you were living in like an inner city area, or?
Great question.
Like, did your because how some parents they like they let their kid know, like, hey, when you go outside, it's dangerous and all that shit, or don't even go outside, period, right? And so they try to shelter their children from that.
Yeah.
Did you know that you were in like a dangerous area? Because my grandma, when I told you I used to come back here back and forth, she was in East Oakland too in the 80s.
Okay.
On 83rd and MacArthur. So I was aware of like all the dangers because everyone used to tell me like, yo, shit is dangerous over here, like Brandy Park or whatever the fuck.
For sure.
So were you aware that you were in a dangerous area, or?
Yeah, I was absolutely aware. And my mom, she did the best she could. She was a single mom raising myself, my brother, and my cousins as well. They had their parents, but our house was the family house. And so because of that, and she had all boys, she was like, yeah, you gotta get outside, like, like, and so when I got outside, it opened my eyes to a whole new world. And I had friends who was in them environments, like actually living in them environments. And to be honest with you, at a young age and even like my early teens, I actually enjoyed the chaos. I'm like, damn, this shit is exciting. Not only that, but I'm around my people. No, I wasn't doing none of that. I'll be clear. I wasn't doing none of that. I had homies who was.
Okay.
And again, that leadership shit. Like I was like, that's not me. So I didn't do it, but I was privy to it. I seen it. I wasn't in the house the whole time. I was outside.
What makes, so you were around it just like me, and I chose not to do it for my reasons.
For sure.
What were your reasons to, because it's easy to fall into that life, to do something, and then once you're into like the system, it's hard to like get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So what was it about you to make you not want to, my homeboys are going to go like steal a car? What makes you not be like, oh, I'm good?
I think just that having instilled in me at a young age, really by my pops, being a leader, not being a follower. And I think a lot of that was like initially not wanting to disappoint him. But aside from that, I think it just led to like, hey, I want to do my own thing. If everybody going left, I want to go right. I like the challenge of that. I like what I can get from charting my own path. And I guess I learned that at a very young age. And quite frankly, I learned, all I do is be myself and people will fuck with you. Whatever you want. If it was at the time, it was, girls, I was getting that, playing basketball, doing music. So I had that, like, I guess popularity or just I was well liked. And so I didn't see a need to be anything other than myself, really.
What school did you go to?
So high school, I went to Skyline, but if we go before that, I did a stint, like a year or two, in Thornhill. No, but even before that, I went to Maxwell Park. So I started off at Maxwell Park. Well, let me backtrack. So my first kindergarten through, I think, second grade, I went to St. Pascal's. It's not, around anymore. People who from here know about that. That's a private school. So I started there, kindergarten through second. And then from third and half of fourth, I went to Maxwell Park in my neighborhood. And then from there, I went to Thornhill and, by Montclair, and that put me on the path to go to Skyline for high school. So that's kind of how my shit went.
And after high school, where did you go?
So after high school, I went to Howard University.
Oh, word? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right. And both my parents, funny enough, met there. I was born there. And about 6 or 7 months after I was born, we moved out here to the Bay. My mom's from Hercules, so we moved back out here. So that's how my story started in D.C., like early on.
D.C., I just recently went to D.C. for the first time to interview this one chick that went to Howard.
Okay.
And I love the city.
Love it too.
Probably because where I was at, I was in like the downtown, like good areas. But I mean, I've heard DC is like it's a lot of violence out there for the YNs out there. But that's a big change from Oakland to DC. Do you think?
Yeah, in a sense
Because
of
when you
location.
go to DC, like the people, the black people specifically that you see,
Yeah.
like they carry themselves different. They're more educated. They got a lot of shit going on. How was it a culture shock from going from Oakland to DC for you?
So it was a culture shock, just in the sense of, in the University at Howard, obviously it's the Mecca, it's the best HBCU out there. And
I
so
agree.
stepping on
Better
campus,
than Hampton?
better than Hampton, 100%. So stepping on campus, that was the first time that I kind of really experienced, you know how they say black people aren't a monolith. That was the first time that I actually experienced that. What I mean by that, you got people from all walks of life, all type of cities, all different social classes, all different financial, backgrounds and shit like that. And so it just opened my eyes to, like, oh, it's not just type of black person that I grew up knowing in East Oakland. And so it was culture shock in that sense. But in terms of, also the distance, right? It's 2,000 miles away from home. But again, like I told you, like I always was like, man, I want to chart my own path. So when it was time to go, funny enough, how the story goes is that I actually probably only applied to a couple of schools. I just applied for Northridge and LA. I knew my dad was out there. That's all I needed to know. And then my mom, I think, really encouraged Howard because obviously she went there and she knew the impact. And so I think I got into both. I was hell-bent at that time, 17, 18, I'm going to Northridge. My homies from Skyline going. I know people out there, my dad out there. This is perfect. This is my perfect time to go to LA. My mom was like, all right. She really pushed for me, which, I credit her. She was like, just go to Howard. Just try it for a year. And if you don't like it, you can go to Northridge.
You made the right choice, I'll tell you.
And I stepped foot on campus and I was like, yeah, I'm never going back. So again, but even that, like a lot of my friends were staying local and they were like, you about to go thousands of miles away? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm trying to get out of here.
So you visited the campus before you made a commitment?
No, I didn't. I had never been in, obviously being born there, but aside from being born there, I never spent no time in DC. I just knew that was the right decision. Like that was the right choice. And obviously when I stepped on campus for that first time, I was like, yeah, this is where I belong.
How was your experience at Howard?
It's hard to put into words, bro, but amazing. I grew so much. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about my identity. My, they say like the neck or like the opposition to people who like don't like HBCUs or think that they're not reality. They're like, oh, it doesn't prepare you for the real world because you're just around all black people. And what I say is that being in that environment prepares you for the real world because you get a chance to really cultivate your identity.
Yeah.
And as a black person, as a black man specifically, that's everything. So I can go to any environment, I don't care who I'm around, and feel like I belong there. And I wouldn't have gotten that anywhere else but Howard. That sense of pride, that sense of understanding of self, that sense of just like consciousness to be able to like navigate throughout whatever environment you're in. I already kind of had some of that growing up in Oakland, but when I got to Howard and, graduating from there in 2015, it just amplified it to the highest degree.
What did you study there?
So I studied legal communications. It was like in the communication and culture department at School of Communications. And I minored in Spanish. So from that major, really it was just emphasizing on, I would say like, from my perception is like the communication aspect of law. So we did mock trial, we did debate, we did interpersonal communication, just kind of like really focusing kind of like in a psychology emphasis as well, but applying it to like the law, constitutional law and stuff like that.
Were there any white students at Howard when you were there?
It was like one. I knew one.
One?
Yes. Like, and as I know, by the time, so when I first started, it was one. By the time I graduated, let's say, at least from what I can remember, it's probably more, but it was probably like only 5.
Dudes?
So the one guy I knew for sure when I first got there, he was a dude. The other homie that I'm thinking of, he was a dude. And then there was like I remember like one white girl, she's on the volleyball team. So it was obviously less than 1%.
When you see white students at HBCUs, do you feel like they are genuinely they genuinely want to go there and be around us, or do you think that they are trying to infiltrate and like the COINTELPRO back in the days that they did the Black Panthers, like insert a white bitch to sleep with these Black Panthers and get all the information?
My first answer is no. So my first thought is that you're probably here because of sports. That's my first thought. Like that dude that I told you, I forgot his name, that was like there freshman year.
Yeah.
He was white, but he grew up, you could tell like he grew up around Black people his whole life.
Okay.
And I relate to that because I have homies that's white that did the same out here. So that was different. But everybody else, I was just thinking like, okay, you probably here for sports. That's as far as I thought about it. I never really thought too hard about them infiltrating because I don't think that's even possible, to be honest. Like you would get like exposed quickly, I feel like. So I never thought about it like that, but I definitely was like,
it doesn't bother you?
No, it don't bother.
Okay.
Well, that's me. We on the podcast. I'm gonna keep it 100.
I feel a way that white people are comfortable in Black spaces.
Yes. I feel like,
but Black people are not comfortable in white spaces. I feel a way about that.
I feel a way about that too. Okay. I feel that why would you want to come here? Like, like you said, if I'm really thinking about it, if I might consider it, maybe. But it's like, man, you had a great thought. That was a great point. I'm always curious, maybe. Even maybe some skeptical. Like I haven't really had a lot of like experience at the HBCU space where like I'm interacting with them on a big scale. But if we being honest, I know a lot of the HBCUs is created by white people.
Yeah, so a lot of them are named after white people.
Exactly. So not to say that means anything, but even from a foundational standpoint, it is kind of like a reminder of like it's never truly ours. But in that space, I would say 100%. I felt comfortable. I felt safe to be my full, authentic self, and I wouldn't have cared if it was white people or not in the classroom. But yeah, it's just like why I'd be curious to know why you would want to go there for sure.
Did your father, when you told him you were going to Howard, was he upset that you didn't choose LA so he can be closer, or did he didn't give a fuck?
Not that I know of. We didn't I don't remember a conversation of that, but I feel like he ultimately always, of course, I'm sure a part of him was like, damn, this has been my opportunity to like be in the same space with him. But he just, as far as I can tell, and what he saw me, like he was just patient. He stayed solid like he always did throughout my whole life. I didn't see that, so I don't know if my mom and him had a conversation, but what I knew from him is that he loved me. He was happy to whatever decision I made, as long as I was happy.
You was your mother a single parent, or did she get remarried?
No, she was single parent, and she never was married. Like even my dad and her, they weren't married. They met, young, married together.
Did you have you said your dad was in LA, your mom was in Oakland. Did you have a male presence in your household, or just like a male figure to like confide in, to teach you shit, like an OG?
Yeah. So I would say for sure, I had like, in terms of OG, like was older, my uncle, so my mom's brother. They were close in age. He passed away, unfortunately, like in 2018. But my uncle Greg, he was a big part, just always showing up, and he was a presence whenever I needed him. So he was like the OG. In terms of my immediate household, I had my cousins. They were like 2 years older than me, so they're a little bit older, but they were well versed, let's say, in being in this environment and what you needed to like survive in terms of just like street smarts, respect, honor, integrity, all of that shit. So I feel like because of them, and they were well respected in just Oakland in general, that paved the way and allowed me to kind of just roam freely and kind of just be myself without any interference or anything.
Did you ever sit down and ask your mother what happened between her and your father?
For sure. Yeah. She said like, really, they were just young. She thought the grass would probably be greener. She's 22, 23. And she didn't know, that he, and she says it like, she was like the best man that she been with. Okay. At the time, she was so young. You 22, 23, they barely making it. They don't really have money. It's tight. I'm a newborn. She just lost my grandfather maybe 6 months before I was born. And so I just figured she probably was just young, just trying to like, didn't really know how, things would turn out. So that's really what it was. It wasn't really no like big riff, I think, other than that.
Did you, when you went to DC after you graduated, why didn't you stay in DC?
Nigga, that cold, that weather. I was like, hell no, nigga. I'm a California dude at heart, bro. So when I was there, I'll never forget, bro. Freshman year, it may have, and it probably surpassed it now, but that year, it was 2010. The winter of 2010 was like a record in terms of cold. Like the first week or 2 weeks, we had like a big snowball fight on the yard in Howard. But I remember vividly walking, me and my homie, like late night, and it's cold as hell. Wind chills, we like, and we both from the Bay. He from Richmond, I'm from Oakland, and we wearing Chucks. So that just told you how. And I had been around snow before, but yeah, that weather, I always knew that. Like, nah, this ain't me.
You one of those niggas that go to the beach in jeans and shit, yes?
Nah, no, I ain't going to the beach. I don't like the nigga that go to the beach in jeans or wearing a shirt in the pool.
Yeah, wearing sweaters and shit at the beach.
No,
like, damn.
I ain't that.
So you always had the intention of coming back to California?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think so, especially because I knew, like, yeah, bro, I don't know. Like, it's funny you asking this stuff because it's like in hindsight, right? Moment, you in the moment. But yeah. I just kind of always felt like my path was already set out for me, bro. And I think when it was time to make those decisions, I always made the right choice based on, you know, what I felt made the most sense. And it turned out that way.
When you came back, did you come to Oakland or LA?
Yep. I came back. So graduated from Howard 2015, came right back to Oakland.
Okay.
Staying with my mom. So at this point, staying with my mom, I found the first job that I could that niggas threw at me. It was like at this company called Playworks, kind of like working in the schools, kind of like a PE teacher, but just a little different. And so I did that for the first year, making some money and just trying to figure out what's next. You know, I always heard, oh, this is the real world. And so I think I was just like mentally trying to like brace myself for what the real world would be. And I started on a path of being in the rat race, just working, sleeping, eating, working, sleep, because I got to make money. And it's like, all right, yeah, you didn't make money, but for what? And so I learned that early.
I can imagine being at Howard and being around. I'm pretty sure your network is crazy because there's a lot of people that come from Howard that are successful. And I could just imagine being around all those successful black men, black women, and being motivated to do shit, right? And then you graduate, then you come back to Oakland, where niggas are not really like moving and shaking. So did you feel, I don't know what right word, like depleted? Like, were you not motivated, became lazy and stagnant?
I wouldn't say I became that, but mentally I was getting, like, I felt just sad or depressed. Because even not funny enough, but so I graduated from Howard in May of 2015. By June, I was at a Spanish immersion program in Vermont. You know, like I said, I minored in Spanish. I was always in love with the culture. And so I actually went to Middlebury. It's like a Spanish immersion program, 7 weeks, all Spanish, nothing else. I did that first. I feel like it was an opportunity, and I feel like I gave myself a little bit more time to kind of figure out what was next. So I did that. While I'm there, I think towards the tail end, I get a text from my homie, shout out my boy, my brother to this day, Pat. He was just like, damn, the police killed Richie. And so just to give full context, my boy Richard Linear, he was from Oakland. We grew up together. We went to some of the same schools. We were close through other friends. But anyways, he was pulled over for, they said, a routine traffic stop. And this is on camera. They put him over. He had a warrant, I think, or something, and he ran. He ran. Next thing we see from the camera footage,
like running on feet. Okay.
So they pulled him over for something, and I think he ran. And next thing they show, so the camera, surprisingly, you see him running. Yeah. He goes out. Next time it turns on. And this is he's from the Ville, so this was like in the 60s, right by that McDonald's on the corner. He had 6'5". But anyways, next time they showed the camera or had the camera turned on, they were supposedly looking for him on the roof, and they look down and you see him like wedged between some fucking like the small, like something that you couldn't even fit in, and he was dead. And so they're saying he suffocated. There was this whole shit. We know what really happened, but they just never. So I'm saying to say, like, that was my introduction back to coming home. So I'm getting ready to finish this up. I'm on a high, like, yeah, I just did this. I just did something mentally. I was very great. And now I'm going back to this. I'm like, what the fuck? So I felt that energy, even though I wasn't like there for when it all started or when it happened. That was the energy that I came home with. So I was definitely depressed and like I couldn't understand how I just spent my last 5 years, these hives of highs and so many monumental moments and experiences, and I'm coming back home and my people is struggling from the same shit.
Did you start to second guess why of coming back?
Yeah, I think somewhat. I think I was just like very unsure, like why did God bring me back here? Like I didn't get it. So I'm like, I didn't had highs of highs in college and lab from 2010 to 2015, some of the best years of my life. And so coming back, I was just like, damn, did I make a mistake,
Yeah.
And so that was my initial feeling. I think that lasted maybe 6 or 7 months. And then I kind of started to slowly but surely just find my way.
When did the music come into your life? Were you doing this your whole life, or did you just start taking it serious when you were like later in college or something?
Yeah, you pretty much hit it on the head. So I was doing music my whole life. My uncle that I told you about, Gina, who passed away, he was a part of a rap group in the Bay Area, 187 Facts, Spice One. A lot of people know, I'm sure listening to this, was the head of it. And they went to high school together. He was his hype man. He started to as he got bigger, obviously he had his opportunity to rap. And so he my mom's brother, your only brother, younger brother. And so that was, I was always in that space. He started to I got maybe 5 or 6 or 7. It started to I think fizzle out a little bit, but that was always in our household, music. And so I started off with my cousin, his son, G Molly, who was in my household again. We just started off in my childhood home downstairs. We had a basement. We started on a karaoke machine, making songs, recording on tape recorders. That's just how we started. It was just here's somebody who done it. We love it. We think we're good at it, and we're willing to put the work in. So it started there. But to your point, fast forward, 2010, freshman year at Howard, that was the first time that I felt like I took it seriously. Like, okay, not only because throughout middle school, I put out my first song in middle school in MySpace at the time. So I went to Monterey and people was playing it in middle school. That was enough for me just going on people's MySpace pages at the time and seeing my shit on there. Then that transition to high school, I was doing a couple songs here and there, but I was hooping and in school. So that took up a lot of my time. But when I stepped foot on campus, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to take this as seriously at the time as I think so. I put my first mixtape out then.
Did you know you were? Because I used to rap when I was in, but I was trash. I used to do it on some joking shit and make tapes for my friends talking about bunch of niggas in high school, right? It was just on some joking shit. But I knew that I couldn't rap.
Yeah.
Did you know that you had talent?
I know I did.
Okay.
I knew I did because I knew how effortless it came, in just rapping and how I push it together. We all got ears, so I knew okay. And so that was one. But then when I would share it with people, they would fuck with it too.
Okay.
I always started off with just my family or my friends.
Yeah.
And they never forget 8th grade. I had a graduation party over here at Leona Lounge and kind of by Skyline. And we put together an 8th grade graduation party and we performed. Me and my cousin and my homies, and they was fucking with us. So I always knew yeah, okay, I have something. I didn't really know where it would pan out. And quite frankly, I don't know. At that time, I definitely didn't see a path for music. I always considered it a hobby. I didn't see nobody with a valuable or even my uncle, he never really knew the business side of it. So he never really he was talented as hell, got timeless records, but never really got to see the full fruits of his labor. And so I think because of that, I never really thought of it other than, no, this is a hobby. This is dope. I can continue to do it, but I don't think I seen a viable path at that time.
If someone was to ask you what type of artist Bryce is, how would you describe yourself?
I would say somebody that's just inspirational, motivational, definitely West Coast influence. Most importantly, Oakland influence, town influence. But somebody with a message, bro. I'm big on my whole thing is neighborhood diamonds. That's my brand, and so through my music, you gonna get a blueprint to how to handle pressure. My story is just one of perseverance, and so my music reflects that. It's motivational, uplifting, empowering. West Coast rap.
Do you who do you get? Do you get motivation from a specific person or motivations from just like your life experience? Like if you're like making a song.
It's always life experience. I think I do get motivation from certain artists just in terms of how they approach something. Like I do like have these moments, right? Because I record a lot of shit in my apartment in LA, and my routine is mostly just, and I can do it sober too, but I'll, get high, smoke something. And I go to my rooftop, and the rooftop is overlooking LA. And I may play the beat. I had like a speaker, play the beat, get the whole experience. I'm over there by myself. I'm high. And I'm like, how would so-and-so approach this? How would Rick Ross approach this? How would Nipsey Hussle approach this song? How would Tupac approach this song? Payroll, Giovanni, like these my favorite. Freddie Gibbs, some of my like favorite rappers. I try to like in some way put myself in their shoes, but give my own perspective on it, do it my way. And so that's typically how I kind of go about it or approach it. It's kind of just.
What's your feelings on the state of rap right now? Because I mean I love hip hop, rap also, but I listen to a lot of old school like East Coast, like 90s, early 2000s rap.
Yeah.
Like I don't really listen to like the new shit that's out right now.
Yeah.
Because I think it's trash, obviously.
Facts.
Honestly. What's your views on like the state of hip hop now?
So that's a great question. I literally, it's funny enough, like before I pulled up, my girl and her son, who was 18, we was literally just having this conversation. I feel like when it comes to hip hop, and I think you and I know when we say hip hop, there's a difference between hip hop and rap. So when I say hip hop, I feel like 2025 was one of the best years for hip hop. Hip hop. If you look at people,
2025,
yeah. If you look at the artists, this. So if you look at the artists who consider themselves lyricists, MCs, Freddie Gibbs, like I said, JID, Tyler the Creator, every person who considers themselves MCs, they pretty much dropped a project, an album, or body of work. That's not for nothing. My theory is that seeing how monumental the Drake and Kendrick beef was last year, and just the impact, like you couldn't go nowhere. Like everybody from your average to avid listeners, everybody was tuned in. So my theory is that
you think that beef was bigger than the Jay-Z Nas?
Yeah. And I say mainly because of social media. And I think, to be honest, I would say Tupac and Biggie was the biggest beef, depending on how you like word it, because obviously they both died.
Niggas died.
So that was like the biggest.
You can't beat that.
You can't beat that. I think Jay-Z and Nas, I remember it, but I wasn't like as of an adult to maybe have the understanding of the impact. But I would say for sure, because of social media, Drake and Kendrick, that shit broadcasted all over the world, not just the US. And so I'm saying it to say, like, if you were a real MC, like I consider myself a lyricist, somebody that really student the game, you couldn't help but be inspired by that. And so I feel like if you look at who dropped, it reflects that. So that's from hip hop. I think it was one of the best years. Now the debate we was having, offline was that and it came out, I think, a couple weeks ago, whatever. Billboard said this is the first year where no hip hop is in the top 40.
Yeah.
And my personal opinion is that's a great thing, because hip hop was never meant for everybody. It was very like specific, inner city, black and brown. This is what we're talking about. For better or for worse, we're telling our story. We're trying to give a voice to the voiceless, eyes to the unseen, looks to the unseen. So like, that's how it started. So now, in my opinion, I think a lot of people say the same shit. How could it be that this is one of the best years of hip hop for music output and it not being on charts? All that does tell me is that it turned people off who wasn't really fans of the shit. And I like that. So that's what I say. From rap, now we talking about rap, and nigga just rapping and not saying shit and just saying shit, it's trash. I'm not listening to like 70% of the shit, 80%, 90% of the shit. I agree. And that's just my opinion. Somebody say something different. I'm aware of pretty much everybody for the most part that comes out, like for the most part. But it is not for me, and I'm okay with that. And I think it's not only if it's not for me, some of it is like if we're being honest and we're being objective, it's trash.
And rap, hip hop, whatever you want to say, is not really that popular. As far as like, it's not the number one consumed. I don't think it's the number one consumed like genre of music.
It was at one point though.
I mean, it was at one point, but let me tell you this. When have you ever seen a hip hop artist or rap artist from the 80s that can tour right now and sell out stadiums?
Sell out stadiums?
You can't name one.
No.
But you can name a shit ton of rock and roll just anywhere.
Yeah.
You can name a shit ton of rock and roll artists from the 80s that can sell out stadiums on a tour right now. You can fucking Kiss. Fucking Aerosmith, if they want to do a tour. Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Nigga, if the Beatles were alive right now, they probably can sell out some shit. But you get my point. Like, they're still touring today. All these old ass rock and roll acts are still touring. The Rolling Stones are still touring right now. And these niggas are like in their 80s. These niggas are like 87 years old, still touring, selling out arenas. I can't think of any hip hop artists from back when they say hip hop started, when the Sugar Hill, the hip hop, the hibbity hibbity. I can't think of it from that point till now. I can't think of any hip hop artist from way back in those days that can like start a tour and sell out some shit.
But I'm agreeing with you, like just on the basis I do agree. But if I'm gonna get deep, I know it deeper than that. And what I mean by that, those artists that you name, like the rock and roll, those are white artists. Mm-hmm. And what we know, what typically happens with white artists, even without, I would say, in my opinion, earning it, they automatically get support from the masses, predominantly white people, right? We know the numbers. I think in terms of we are the minority still, even though we have.
But we're the most copied. We're
exactly.
They want to be us. So I mean,
so I agree with that. But I'm saying, like, based on that alone, they automatically get unlimited support. Now you take it to hip hop artists. Our fan base is, I think, the people who really love hip hop. Like if you're talking about black artists, predominantly is a black genre. Black artists, black consumers are the ones who really love hip hop. But when it comes to spending the money to go to these things, it's not us, and it's not. I think mostly
a black
finance
nigga in a Travis Scott crowd. I mean, you'll probably see some, but
it's very, very, very seldom.
It's very rare.
And we can even go further than that and say, maybe it's also a financial thing, because a lot of
why do you think that is?
I think that's a big part.
It can't be just financial.
Yeah, just financial. I think it's okay. So if it's not financial, I would think because we still working through the impacts of slavery. And what I mean by that is that if white is better, if it's black, it's like it don't hold the same way. Not to say that everybody feels like that, but I think there's something there where you can I ain't going to see that nigga like I don't know, I ain't supporting, I ain't spending my money for that shit. For whatever reason. So I think that's what it is. But also too, we are the minority when it comes to just the facts of statistics. So I think that's why that's the way it is too. And then I think last, like you said, I think it's just been like a intentional strategy to like devalue hip hop and make it feel like it's just something that everybody can do and water it down, oversaturate it. That's what happened when things become a commodity. And in my opinion, is that hip hop was never supposed to be a commodity.
This is why I think, and I'm gonna give you an example that doesn't have anything to do with music, but it's the way I think, because you can take that and take it as this. I think is because like San Francisco, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like you and I know Oakland. We already know Oakland. We've been out here our whole lives. Blah blah blah. We wouldn't go to the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Because like I see this shit all the time. Like I'm saying, it's just a fucking bridge.
You're right.
But a Chinese nigga would come from Tokyo, come to San Francisco and think the Golden Gate Bridge is the greatest thing that he ever saw. Fact. Take pictures and all that shit, right? Fact. So I think the reason why, like, the people that go to these Travis Scotts and like buy all the merch and all that shit are white, because black people feel like, okay, fucking Jeezy is talking about selling drugs. I sell drugs. It's my life. He's basically talking about my life. Why I don't need to like consume his music thinking that he's basically talking about shit that I already know, right?
For sure.
But a white person would hear that and be like, "Oh shit, I'm so fascinated with that fucking hood trap house story. I want to," and it's turning me on, and I'm going to invest in it and like follow the culture and learn more about it. A black person's like, I'm not going to learn more about it and invest my money in it because, right, I live this shit.
I know. I mean, you make some valid point. I'm trying to put myself in what you're saying, because I like concerts. Like historically, I've been to concerts. I've never been a big like concert, and I think I ain't gonna lie, I've been mostly rooted in ego because I'm an artist. I'm like, nigga, I don't want to go until I'm like actually there. Now my girl she loves concerts, so with her, I honestly would say like going to these concerts, it's made me like fall in love and be like an actual fan again. And so there's a part of that too, especially with men. We like, nigga, I don't want to be a fan of no nigga, even though you riding in your car, listen to the nigga every day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that ego part of it. So I feel like it's all of those things, to be honest. So I agree with you for sure.
So let's get into this documentary that you have coming out. Your whole purpose of coming to Oakland,
being home,
and being on this podcast. Explain to the people the name of this documentary and what's this about.
Yeah, so the name of the documentary is Big Bryce Son. My pops, rest in peace, was Big Bryce. I always consider Little Bryce. And so it is just my, I think, what would I say? This is my coming of age story of losing my father, becoming a father in the same year, going through so much transition mentally in life, and wanting to find a way to make meaning of it all. I always say like my job as an artist is to really capture the moment in the moment. And I didn't want to let this opportunity or this moment pass and not be vulnerable, not be transparent, not be just open with what I'm dealing with. And in a lot of ways, it allowed me to realize that I don't have to carry it alone. Like I can share this. I feel like a lot of times, especially us as black men, we have a hard time, sharing, what we're going through openly because we feel ashamed, we feel scared, we feel guilty, we feel embarrassed. And I'm on a path right now to like get rid of all of that shit and just embrace it. This is my story. I'm sharing it with you. I'm sharing it with whoever else because I know that y'all relate to it or can relate to it. And that's therapeutic for me.
What was it about your father that made him special to you enough to where like this story needs to be told about him?
Well, one, just how much he cared about, me and everyone else, as well. Like anybody will tell you that really knew him, very, very solid man of high integrity, was well liked, well loved, but also poured into other people. And so I wanted to, funny enough, the documentary, while, it definitely highlights him and me losing him and how that affected me, it really does center me. And through that, through my journey, people who knew him can say, oh, you're just like him. And I actually realized that, I knew it growing up, but making this documentary just reinforced what I already knew. Was like, yeah, this whole time, even if he wasn't like verbally saying these things, he was guiding me and giving me an example of how you show up and how you should be as a man and as his son. And so that's kind of what my goal, or like just my perspective on it was.
My father died in 2004.
Damn. 2004, yeah. Damn.
He raised me, but I didn't like him. He was a crazy motherfucker. But I never like really sat down and like talked to him. So I don't know shit about his life.
For real, damn. See, that's important.
And he was old as shit. So he died when he was 80. I think he was like 87 or some shit, right? So he lived a life.
He lived a life.
And so this is back when like segregation, all types of shit. So there was a bunch of shit now as an adult that I look back and be like, I wish I sat down and talked to my father and asked him questions. Like I don't even know who this nigga's his parents were. Never met him, never even saw a picture of him or anything, right? So do you feel like you had that talk with your father, or do you feel like you missed some things and conversations?
Yeah, I do feel like, of course, you know, he passed away when I was 32, and he passed away. He would have been 53, I believe. And so, you know, yeah, just from a general standpoint, you always wanted more time for sure. But what I did notice, in hindsight, in the time that I moved to LA, I realized that he was like planting the seeds. And what I mean by that, he was telling me like family origin stories. He was giving me history of how he, like, the time maybe when I was in the Bay Area when he moved away, like what life was like, you know, so I got an understanding of him in that space at being like 30, 31. And so, and I asked those questions, and he did a great job, like, because he wasn't somebody, like, I feel like he was some would say that he was a man of few words, but every time he talked, it was like impactful. And I got that too, and I'm kind of that way in like most ways too. But he was kind of like giving me those nuggets. He was doing it, and I understood it. I didn't understand it at the time, but now looking back, I don't know if he knew that his time was coming to an end, or he just, you know, felt compelled at that point in time to like share these things. But he was giving me like, okay, family history. This is how this happened, and I had like a great understanding of like the family dynamics, at least really as far back as my grandfather, so his dad. And he was sharing that. So I feel like of course, like, especially now being a father, that's the part that that hurts the most. Is like, man, I just know how great I would have felt of having him by my side, and then also seeing him as a grandfather in the same way I'm seeing my mom as a grandmother currently, and how much love she has for my son Zimri. And I know that my dad would have been the same way. So,
did you start the documentary while he was alive, or did this start after?
It started like definitely when he passed.
Okay. Did you learn during the filming of this documentary? Did you learn anything new that you didn't know?
No, I wouldn't say that. Well, let me think about thoughtfully a little bit more of that. I wouldn't say that I learned anything new about him or myself per se. I think it just reinforced what I thought. Like, it's one thing that, you know, I think highly of myself and I'm confident in who I am.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to hear from, you know, 12 plus people, like people who are close to me, that, you know, family, loved ones, and hear them kind of say the same thing that I think. It just reinforced that. Like, that was what it was for me. And I think what I did learn though through it all is just, again, like, wow, like, my dad was big in the community. There's no reason why I'm big in the community. Our community is important to me. Like, I was making those connections of like his life and then my life and how I got here. Because a lot of times I was just going, I was just being, you know, I'm just present, I'm living in the moment, but I'm not understanding, or I didn't have no time to really reflect on how these things came to be. And so I think doing the documentary definitely helped me see that. But like I said, for the most part, it just reinforced, and it really just further cemented and solidified what I already knew.
How did your mentality change after your child was born?
Well, my life changed, I think before that. So I really was in a space of grieving, but how I changed is I just became way more, that's a good question. Everything just matters more now. Like, the time that I had before, just, you know, living, going out, having a good time, turning up, that is not the same. I feel like every time I leave that house, or leave my son wherever he's at,
gotta make
that time count. For sure gotta make it home. That's like the time. I've been like that, even coming from Oakland. Like, before he was born, I'm like, I gotta make it home. My mom be fucking lose her life if she figure out something happened to me. So yeah, that was always at the top. But yeah, just like everything got to count, bro. Like the meaningless shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I can go still hang out and talk to people, but still I want to have like quality relationships, quality interactions. Like everything just matters more to me because I have somebody to answer to and somebody to help guide his life. And funny enough, not for nothing, like that's just how God works. It's like when he was, born, simultaneously, and even before my dad passed, my life started to slow down in the sense of like I started getting a relationship. My priorities started to change. So I kind of already was on that path. So I feel like by the time he was born, it just settled me down or slowed me down in a good way even more. That was it.
Do you feel like you're a good father?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a great father. I feel like, most importantly, I really love and I'm present with my son. I think that there's always, for me, room for improvement. I want to learn stuff. I want to and that's that's the thing too. So sometimes I'm like, then there's so much I don't know, but I've resolved and settled, and that's the part of it. That's how it should be. But the fact that I'm constantly trying to figure out ways to be better, I think that's a testament to my fatherhood. But yeah, we only in year one, so like the year one, I'm like, damn, I'm even kind of like amazed that it went by this fast. To be honest with you, I was most scared about sleep. I'm somebody that loves sleep, bro. Like anybody would tell you, like I love sleeping, and I've been trying to, now that he kind of has his own sleep routine, it's been a little better, but that was like one of my biggest worries, and to kind of make it through that, I'm like, okay, like I can handle this, bro.
I can't stand crying babies.
Hey, that's a part of it, bro. You gotta. I know that's like people be saying that. Do you have kids? You don't have kids?
No, I don't have kids.
Yeah. People be saying that, and my girl, she taught me that too. But like, that's what babies supposed to do. Like, they're supposed to be crying. Of course, like I'm not gonna sit up here and say like every time he's crying, I'm just like enthusiastic about it. But I've gotten to the point now where I can kind of like.
I feel like I'll be the type that if the baby's crying, I'll just sit there and stare at him and just wait till he stops crying. But they say that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like,
so I'm like, nigga, you gonna have to stop sooner or later, yo. Like, what are we doing?
But you gotta think, bro. They communicating just how obviously we don't do it as much because we can communicate. We have words. They don't have words, so you'd be surprised. Like I'm like, when he's crying, it's usually like specific. I guess the challenge sometimes is figuring out why is he crying. Is his diaper? Is he hungry? Is he tired? Or is there something else? That's usually the top three things. If it's something else, then that's something that we got to address. But yeah, I'm like, bro, this is what I asked for. So I'm not complaining. I'm not like irritated. It's like, I'm just like, let's go. Like, let's do it every moment. I love it.
Is this your first documentary?
First documentary. First of many. This is through my company, actually, Neighborhood Diamonds, but Neighborhood Diamonds Media, which is the media arm of the company, creative company. And similar to yourself, man, I'm just trying to highlight, diamonds in the rough, tell their stories, and find a way. On one end, it's to humanize. My goal is to humanize the Black experience. That's one. But all just equally, it is to really highlight diamonds in the rough who I feel like are doing the work. They're not willing to compromise who they are. They're just doing the work, and they need to be shown and highlighted. So that's my job.
What hurdles did you run into any hurdles that you weren't expecting during the filming of this?
Hurdles.
Because a documentary, that's like I don't know. You don't have a history in like fucking making movies and shit, right?
Kind of. Not like in this, like this is the biggest, like, I think, feat. But I've like throughout my artistry, I've done like little small docuseries. I was kind of like on this path, kind of. And then, I went.
I thought you just jumped into it, like, I woke up one day and was like, I'm about to make this documentary about my dad, and then you just did it.
I mean, that's a part of it too. But what I would say, okay, if I'm being honest, the seeds was already planted. So I kind of had an understanding of what it would take. I was already, in connection with people who come from that space. And, I'm big on just calling up somebody, asking questions. I'm very curious like that. And I'll fucking obsess myself until I kind of understand what I need to know. So that wasn't hard. So the hardest, or the hurdles that I came across, I think it was just coordinating schedules. Like, cause I was the one, from a producer standpoint, reaching out to these people, my family, my loved ones, trying to get our calendars and times, texting, calling, like, you good on this day? Oh, no, this day don't work. That was the hardest part, logistics.
Okay.
Everything else, that shit was like, once we kind of like camera started rolling, it started to flow. So I would say, okay, so that was that was a hurdle, but I would say the most challenging part about making this documentary and what I learned in the process is that how important telling a story is. That's what sets apart, I think, great documentaries from, documentaries that are like, okay. It's like, what story are you telling, and can you convey that in a way that keeps people's attention? I know you've seen probably documentaries, you're like, oh, this is cool. But you've seen other ones like, oh yeah, this shit, like you really felt an emotion.
Yeah, when I saw that Making of Murder,
yeah,
they had you seen that shit?
Oh, Netflix?
Netflix.
Yeah, my
that
girl
white boy,
like, yeah, it should
they
be
had
all that
me
shit.
they had me hooked.
what was the storyline on that one?
Old white dude, they said that he killed this white girl when she came to his lot to take a picture or some shit. It came out a long time ago, but I think that was like the most popular thing that was ever on Netflix before. It's called Making of a Murderer.
Making of a Murderer.
And that shit is the best documentary I've ever seen. But
see, but they, you feel me? So I've studied that. I didn't know this is what it was for, but throughout my years, I'm like a documentary buff. I didn't seen all the music, hip hop documentaries for sure, and most of the sports one. I just love the way they tell a story and how they kind of like captivate people's emotions. And telling a story is important because, again, it humanizes the person. Yeah. Regardless of how you feel about whatever they do, it gives you a picture into somebody's like world and mind. And so I've always like been fascinated with that. My mom and dad, they planted those seeds, and that's what kind of, I think, led me to this point.
So you're premiering the documentary this Friday.
This Friday, yep.
Like, explain that. Well, like,
yeah, this Friday, came home for the Oakland premiere, Big Bryce Son. We're doing 2 screenings. So Friday, November 14th, 2 screenings, one at 7:30, one at 9 p.m. I'll be performing live, as well as like having a Q&A that's moderated by a couple of my town brothers who, are in the mental health and just space in this. And it's at Rhythm Section. It's a venue, Rhythm Section Art Lounge, a venue in East Oakland, put on by myself in collaboration with Salon, collaboration with Olive Street Agency, and also the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce. And so really just wanting to like, my thing was, okay, first task was, let's finish this film. Once it was finished, I knew I wanted to screen it. Like, I just, luckily in whatever industry you're in, there's already a world that exists. You can obviously, like, some of the structure is put in place so you don't have to like reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But obviously some shit you're going to do is unique to me. So I always knew like, okay, well, I want to have a film. How can I show it? I didn't want to like do let's put it on YouTube, because while YouTube is accessible, I feel like it can devalue it. And people can kind of like not take it. Oh, I'll watch that shit, and whenever I get to it. And especially because I didn't have a direct channel to like Netflix or Amazon Prime or something. I'm open to that too. But I knew I had the wherewithal, and I know I had the capacity to screen it. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And it just feel good to be home, because a lot of this shit, I mean, obviously I wouldn't be able to make this story without even being from Oakland and being rooted in Oakland. So it's my way to kind of just come back and shed light on what I've been doing since I've been gone.
After you screen it,
yeah.
I mean, everyone who's listening, this podcast is going to come out. The screening is already going to happen already.
Okay.
So,
whoops, sorry. Nah.
So after you screen it, where can people? Are you releasing it anywhere? Like, where can people like see it?
No time soon. I mean, to be honest, after it screens in Oakland, we do have we're working on it, like the early stages of having another screening out here in Oakland during Black History Month. And from there, I'm just seeing where it takes me. So I don't have I can't, I'll be lying if I told you like, oh, it's going to be online. Like, I don't foresee that. Now, something can happen where that makes sense.
Do you want it to be online?
No. I don't want it to be online. I want it to be, to be honest, if it's going to be somewhere, I want it to be on like the Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. That's my goal. I want it to be on that platform, because I feel like the story is so unique and it's so powerful that it deserves the attention to be seen in that way.
Put that shit on Tubi.
I heard Tubi too. I ain't really been on Tubi, but a lot of shit is on Tubi, I feel like.
My nigga, everything is on Tubi.
And you know what? Another thing I would want to do is like, so I'm not going to even knock. Like, YouTube there's like different platforms that have funding and have real distribution. Frontline is on YouTube. KQED has their own segment. What other? It's another one I see. There's other different. The Guardian. There's publications that's big on like presenting documentaries, and it gets seen by millions. So I'm not even opposed to that. I think I'm just
museums.
No, for real, literally. So I'm open to it. I just think it has to make sense in the sense of like. I mean, to be honest, I invested, my own money, which, I don't have a problem doing, but I'm like, it got to make sense financially or just like presentation-wise for me to do it. Me putting it on my YouTube channel right now, I know it ain't going to like get the legs that it needs. That's just me being honest. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure out, well, until that time comes, I'm going to just keep pushing it this way and get the attention and let that part figure itself out.
Now that you've completed this documentary, I mean, obviously it was a passionate one because it hits home with you. Did you get the itch to do more documentaries and lean more to film and like put music in the back burner, or do you still value music more than film? I don't know which one, but like you tell me.
How I see it, that's a great question. How I see it right at this moment is that this film and storytelling component that I've now added to my arsenal is just an expansion of my artistry. Like, I never wanted to be somebody that would just box and confine to like one medium of artistry. I just wanted to do things that were authentic to me. And so I look at it like an expansion. I just like especially now, I love rapping and hip hop just as much as even more than storytelling in this medium. But I realize we live in a world that people gravitate to what they gravitate towards. So what I'm saying is there may be somebody who watches a documentary who never heard of my music, but because they seen the documentary and they kind of have an understanding of who I am, they go listen to my music. And I'm fine with that. And so this next chapter of my career, because like I said, I've been doing this shit for 20 plus years. This next chapter of my career is very intentional about telling other people's stories in a way and giving other people a platform. I feel like that's what also, if you look at the rap space, there's been Tyler Creator has his own festival. A lot of artists had their own festivals, right? You look at the stuff that Russell is doing out here in the Bay Area. He has his own like venue space and platform for people to come perform. But there's nobody occupying really the storytelling and media standpoint. And so that's the space that I feel like I can occupy and really dominate.
Yeah.
I'm focused on that for sure.
How many, when you talk about music, how many, I mean, you have music out, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
You have actual projects out?
I got nine bodies of work out.
9 bodies of work?
Yes.
God damn. Okay.
I've been doing it. I mean, I don't think I could call myself a serious artist if I didn't. Yeah, I got shit from 20, well, my mixtapes ain't on there, but yeah, I got 9 bodies of work that you can go listen to right now on all the platforms.
What is the proudest moment for you when it comes to 2 questions. What is the proudest moment for you in life?
Damn.
And then what is the proudest moment for you in your job, like entertainment space?
Shit. Okay, so it's a proudest moment in the entertainment space because there's these little moments and highlights. But if I'm being honest, it's to be able to like still have like the fire to create music after like literally from my childhood basement, right? 2003, 6th grade to what? That's 22 years later. And I still feel that fire. I don't feel like I'm burnt out. I don't feel like I want to quit. I don't feel like I'm only getting better. And so that, and I've looked at, some of my peers and, I don't, some of them, I know their personal stories, but no disrespect, but it's like they quit. They gave up for whatever reason. And I respect that.
Yeah.
But my proudest moments is to continue to still, I'm only getting better. I'm getting more opportunities. I'm in a better space. I know who I am truly, and I know how I want to move in the music space. Like, and so I'm most proud about that. I don't really, I could say the accolades, which are important too, but that's honestly what I'm most proud of is that I've been able to persevere despite all the shit that I've been through. And it's so many if you look at my life, there's been so many moments where somebody could look at that and said, "Oh, I get why you did quit. Your dad passed away. I get why you stop rapping. Or your son was born and he has health issues. I see why you stop." But that's not my story, and that won't ever be my story. So I'm most proud of that, the perseverance. When it comes to like what I'm most proud of in my life, I mean, I think it would be cliche to just say like being a father. I definitely am most proud of that. Actually, nah, yeah, I'm most proud of being a father because I know that I'm fit for it. I know that I'm the right person.
Yeah.
Like if I was a father at 2 years ago, I don't think it would be the same.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
father material.
Father material. That's you said it. I'm proud of your father material.
I'm not father material.
Hey. You gotta be honest. I feel like I'm father material, man, and I feel like I'm be honest. I'm getting to that. So I'm father material, and I'm closer to husband material. And that's real.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole other podcast. But that's how I feel. So I'm most proud of where I'm most proud of who I am, flaws and all, shortcomings and all, mistakes and all. I'm proud of.
Yeah, we didn't get into your ratchet.
Oh shit! I never
fucking hoes life.
Hey, we gotta get to that at some point. Hey, you gonna get
that's
me?
a whole
You gonna
nother
get me
story. But yeah, bro, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast and talking about your life. Motivated me. It motivated me to because I was thinking about doing I'm still thinking about it, doing a documentary on my boy. He does music.
What's his name?
Freddie Mac. You probably know this nigga.
Freddie Mac,
little chubby nigga from Funktown.
That name does sound kind of familiar. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if you see his face, you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I wanted to do like a little short. I wanted to start doing like a little short documentary, like 30 minutes long. Yeah. That type of shit.
That's manageable.
Tell a little quick story. You know what I'm saying?
My shit is 30 minutes.
Oh, your shit? Okay.
Yeah. You'll see if you pull up Friday or you pull up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to pull up.
You'll see.
So yeah, you motivated me to stick to that idea, because like a lot of people will have ideas and be like, yo, I mean, can I really do it? And then like they get discouraged and then they end up not doing it.
Yep.
And then boom, you fucked up.
But you already doing it though, not to cut you off, but this podcast, I'm sure you had this idea, but you did it. You actually doing it.
Yeah.
I know it's different.
This podcast started like fucking, I randomly told one of my coworkers, right? I was like, yo, I want to do a podcast. And then I started so the way I do things, I would tell people, and then the more people I tell will force me to do it. Cause I don't want to let these people down. That I told such and such that I'm going to do this. Now I have to do it.
Yeah.
So this is the whole creation of this. But yeah, you're very motivating. Your story is crazy. Tell the people where they can find your socials, like your music, if you want to promote that.
Yeah.
I know that the documentary is going to premiere before this podcast comes out, and you're not going to put that on any.
No time soon. The trailer is available now though. You can go to Bryce Savoy, BRYCE 510 on YouTube. That's my same handle for all the platforms. Type that in, you'll find me. The trailer's on YouTube. Big Bryce Son, the trailer's on YouTube. When it comes to music, Bryce Savoy, like I just spelled it, on all platforms, and I'm guaranteeing you can find something that you would like on there. If you're a hip hop fan, if you're just an artist fan, you're gonna find something. I actually just dropped my new project, Just Keep Shining, top of November. So that's the latest body of work.
That's the next project?
It's out already. Yeah, it's out.
Oh, it's out already. Okay.
It dropped November 3rd. Top of November. So it's already out. That's out. Go listen, bro, and it's there. Like that's my thing too. It's like especially with streaming. The beauty of it is like a lot of downside, but the beauty of it is that music is there. So whenever you decide to pick up your phone and get drawn to Bryce Savoy, I got shit for you to listen to. And it's going to be new to you. It's old to me, a lot of that shit, but it's new to you, and you'll get an understanding of who I am. So Bryce Savoy, and then also follow Neighborhood Diamonds. It's exactly how it sounds. It's spelled at Neighborhood Diamonds on Instagram, neighborhooddiamonds.com, and brycesavoy.com. And that'll take you everywhere you need to go.
What's the next project you're working on? Is it going to be music? or film?
So I'm always working on music, but film. Film is the next project. I'm actually getting ready to launch my first ever fund, the Neighborhood Diamonds Fund. I'm raising money to be able to continue to tell stories. I'm starting off with the Neighborhood Diamonds miniseries. So like you just said, like the short docu-series, miniseries space. I love that space because it's enough for people's attention span. And it's enough that I can manage. And so I'm working on that. We in the beginning stage of that. The first season, the first official season of that, where I'll highlight, creatives and diamonds in the rough worldwide. So that's next. That's next.
That's dope. All right, Bryce, like I said, thank you for coming on Everyday Celebrity Podcast. Everyone go check out his music. Follow him, and he'll probably keep you up to date whenever this documentary is going to drop, where you can see it. And if you're in Oakland, damn, I can't even say pull up because by the time this interview comes out.
But in February, like stay tuned, we're gonna have something out here in Oakland in February, Black History Month. Next year.
Are you gonna premiere it? So what you I don't you should premiere it multiple times.
Yeah, no. So this is the first premiere in Oakland because it's the first time I've done it in Oakland. But we're gonna be screening it
So this is not like a one time thing. Okay. Well, that's good. So follow this nigga and like, you know what I'm saying, and you'll be updated on different places where he's planning on premiering. And if you're in Oakland, that's even better.
For sure.
So, Bryce, you have any last words?
No, I would say first and foremost, obviously, thank you for just having this platform, having me on this platform, giving me an opportunity to tell my story. For all my listeners tuning in, man, if you're looking for something, motivational, if you're looking for some inspiration, if you're looking to just be reaffirmed in who you are and what you're doing and how you feel about your life, come fuck with me, man. Like that's all I can say. Like, I'm not this person that's gonna be talking and trying to sell myself because I really like my work to speak for itself, and I know that it will. I know that we live in a time where you do have to speak out, but just go do your research, go discover it, and see for yourself. If you don't like it, hit me up directly and say this shit is trash, and let me know why, and we can go from there.
That was Big Bryce Son. This is Jordan Awani. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast, and we are out.
Peace.
You.
Celebrity to me, celebrate cause I'm me. You a star, believe. Reach like 2-3, to the stars I'll see. Everyday celebrity, I pray to God it's me. Every night that I pray